So guys, we're going to be watching a video here by Hammerdance today, and this video is called Blizzard Needs to Fix These Massive Issues for Classic Plus. Let's take a look at it, shall we? And based on me seeing this thumbnail, it looks like a video that I've made myself, or a part of a video at least, covering GDKPs, and I kind of want to see if it's like part of the same thumbnail, but hey, either way, it ruins the entire game, is the text here used to get you hooked. Let's see what this is about,
What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about everybody's favorite thing to talk about.
Let me guess, it's going to be GDKPs.
In classic World of Warcraft, RMT. We're going to be talking about item selling, mage boosting, GDKPs, and obviously travel services like the Warlock, Summon Bot, Mafia, and if these things have a place in Classic Plus. Do we think Blizzard should do something about them moving forward into Classic Plus, or just leave it the way that it is currently on Anniversary? So this is going to be a pretty highly controversial video, so I'm really excited about it. I love talking about this stuff. For those of you who've been watching the channel for quite some time, you know that this is my favorite stuff to talk about. So without further ado, let's dive into it. So what we're going to do to start out, right, before we talk about if these things belong in Classic Plus, I want to talk about how bad they actually are and kind of rank them, right? You know what? Let's make a tier list. Hold on. Let me pull this over. We're going to make this a tier list first and foremost. There we go. Okay, so if you guys could see down at the bottom here, this would be like, you know, selling items, like someone selling you Hodge by farming it themselves in BRD. The Warlock summoning portal, this would be summoning services all across the world, GDKPs, and then we have mage boosting right here. So before we talk about whether these things should...
I was going to check, by the way, if it was the same elements that I was using in my GDKP thumbnail. It's a part of the same, but not the exact same. But I know where he got those from, and yeah. This is my video on GDKPs that I made 2 weeks ago, but I uploaded it last week. It's been like one that I had on the back burner, and it's just been way too much to talk about the last 2 weeks, so this video right here, I made talking about GDKPs, and it's like, GDKPs is always going to be a very controversial topic. I mean, even today as well, on the podcasting with Eben, we have been talking about GDKPs, and let me tell you, it's a heated topic. You either love GDKPs or you hate GDKPs. And for me, I feel like I'm one of the few people that are in the middle. I feel like a lot of people are either on the left side or the right side of GDKPs, like either you love it or you hate it. For me, I can see both sides. I see it being both a positive and a negative at the same time. Either way, let's check out the video.
Be in Classic Plus or not, I think it's important for us to talk about how bad they actually are, right? Ranking them from the worst possible thing, the thing that promotes the most RMT, down.
So he's making a tier list based on, like issues in Classic Plus. Like there's one picture here that is Era Boost, or something Raw Boost. Mara Boost probably, yeah, Mara boosting, 600 gold per hour. Then there's a GDKP next, Warlock summoning, and I'm not sure what the last one is, but it looks like selling items. How to sell Hodge. Okay.
To like the least important one, like it kind of promotes a little bit of RMT, but who really cares? So let's start off with the item selling, right? Like people going and you know, soloing BRD at the beginning of Anniversary to sell you your Hodge, all that kind of stuff. Personally, and people may disagree, right? These are going to be my opinions. I don't think this one is that bad at all. I'm going to put that down at D tier. That should be allowed to be in the game, right? If you can go solo a boss and sell your services to sell this item to somebody, I think that should be allowed in the game. It's the same thing as a hunter soloing Dire Maul Tribute to sell buffs and sell, you know, Elven Tarnished rings and stuff like that. I don't think that that's that bad. I mean, again, let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to know what you guys think. But that one, in my opinion, absolutely kind of like doesn't really matter. I think that should be in the game. Now, we're talking about the travel services, the Warlock summons. Now, where I would rank this probably would be, I guess, around B tier.
Yeah, let me see this. Yeah,
right?
same.
Like, it definitely promotes a little bit of...
Yeah, it's like, I would also go B tier, by the way. I might even make an argument for A tier, but I think B is where it's supposed to be. And the thing is, you want Warlocks to be the way to summon, because that way you want to have Warlocks in your group, right? But what we're seeing right now in Anniversary and every single version of Classic WoW we have had recently, except for maybe the first time around, at the moment everyone is simply buying a taxi service anyway. So Warlock summons are way more for taxi servicing than it's actually about having a Warlock in your group or making a dungeon. People right now, like, having a Warlock in your group or summoning is not important whatsoever. People simply buy summons for 1 gold tip to just about every important dungeon in the world. And these Warlock summons, by the way, that the taxi services I want to call them, they get set up insanely fast, even on day 1 of Anniversary. You were seeing them selling summons. Day 2, they were already selling summons to Scarlet Monastery as well. I mean, day 2 might be a little bit of a stretch, but definitely in week 1, they were selling summons left, right, and center. So I feel like Warlock summons right now, they're way less important than they were once upon a time, and I would like to, in Classic Plus, simply see meeting stones working. That way, if you don't want to buy a taxi service, you can simply go there to the dungeon, 2 of you, and summon more people, instead of everybody having to go there. And that way you can also just, like, I don't know, it promotes naturally going to the dungeon, instead of having to buy a taxi service. The whole Warlock thing was great when it was all Walk or Warlock. It promoted having a Warlock in your group, but recently we simply don't see that. People just buy summons instead. A taxi service.
Of RMT, but is it the worst thing in the world? No. The problem with it is that it is controlled by summoning bot mafias, right? Hundreds and hundreds of warlocks that are run by bots, and if a normal player were trying to sell summons in that area, those bots then mass report that player.
Yeah, that is a massive problem as well, by the way, because Classic WoW or World of Warcraft in general, the report system is not really based on you breaking any rules. It's an automated ban system based on how many reports you get. So the bots, literally, if you are a competition to them, they mass report you and get you instantly banned. I'm really glad he brought that up, because it's a massive problem in Classic WoW in general, not just the whole Warlock thing, but there are some auction house bots as well, where if you undercut them and keep undercutting them, they simply mass report you and you are gone.
And it's an automated system, so that player gets banned. That is what I think is the actual issue with this. I don't think that selling summoning services is necessarily the issue. I think the issue is that it's controlled by a bot mafia that literally has taken over the game and made it so that a normal player that wants to go and try and set up a summoning spot and make some gold for a few hours can get mass reported and banned. I think this is a major issue, and Blizzard really needs to look into a way to fix this. I do think Warlocks being allowed to sell summons around the world is part of the game, and I don't see, why it should be not allowed, but I do think that it needs to be, like, kind of reeled back in. It's gotten out of control with the bot summoning and all that stuff, so that's where I would label that. And then next we have GDKP. This one is not the worst in my...
We already know where he's going with this, by the way. Anybody who's watched a Hammer Dance video recently, or, like, even over time as well, we know where he stands on GDKP, right, boys? He also brings it up so much, but that's not a bad thing. It's like what I've been saying, you're either on the I love GDKP side or the I hate GDKP side, and for me I can be in the middle, being like, I see the positives, but I also see the very big negatives. So yeah, either way, let me see where he puts this. I'm betting it's going to be a C tier, but for me it would be an A tier.
Opinion, I think Mage boosting is the worst, so we're going to put GDKP in A tier. And
what the... You actually went A tier? Okay, I'm surprised. Damn, that is actually surprising to me. Because I feel like he's been pro with GDKP whenever I've seen his videos. So putting that all the way up to A tier, I'm actually surprised. But once again, that is exactly where I would put it myself. A tier.
Mage boosting up in S tier. And let me explain to you guys why. Now, GDKP, yes, it promotes some RMT, sure, but it also doesn't at the same time. I would say some people that do GDKPs, that's their way of farming gold. They're not RMT.
Yes, very good point, by the way, and he's probably going to elaborate, but I'm going to elaborate as well. A lot of people that are currently buying gold, they do so because they don't want to farm their gold, and they don't want to spend their time that way. If they did the GDKPs, outside of the obvious swiping to get items to begin with, once they have the best items they can have, they would use a large chunk, or at least a certain chunk, of that GDKP pot that they are paid to buy consumables for the next raid. So now they are swiping less for consumes and flasks, but they are starting to swipe more when they need gear for GDKPs. But overall, I think it's going to be less swiping because of that. Something we have seen on the anniversary is that swiping still happens a lot, and raiders now, instead of swiping for, GDKPs, they swipe for consumes.
That is... It still made people play the game, right? You still had to get together in a raid and go clear the content. Now, why I think mage boosting is the worst thing in the world is that it allows people to completely skip the game, promotes way more RMT than GDKP because you're not getting any return on your investment of that gold. Whereas GDKP, let's say someone goes in there with 1,000 gold that they farmed, they have a run where nothing drops, they don't buy anything, now they get paid out at the end of that. So they earned something for it, and they cleared the content and played with, 20 to 40 other players at the same time. Whereas mage boosting, you're pretty much sitting AFK the entire time, dumping thousands of gold into leveling your character. So in my opinion, mage boosting actually promotes the most amount of RMT possible, and you get zero return on your investment of that gold, aside from your character being leveled. So you're not getting paid out and then putting more gold back into the economy. It's like you're not sharing the wealth kind of thing. You're just giving more gold to these bots who then sell it back to you, and then you buy it, and then you go and use it again to boost another character, if that makes any sense. So this is how I would rank them. Mage boosting the worst, GDKPs second, Warlock summoning maybe third, and then like selling items and things like that way down on the list. I don't think that really matters. But let's talk about if we want these things in Classic Plus. Now, everyone here on the channel, you guys know how I feel about all of this stuff. Right? I was very upset when they banned GDKPs from Anniversary. I feel like it adds a lot of longevity to the game. It gives you a reason to keep playing and leveling alts. If you enjoy raiding and you enjoy, taking your full BIS character into raids, it still gave you a reason to go back and do those raids, if that makes sense. As it stands right now, once you're full BIS, what is the incentive really to go back into raids and keep raiding with your guild? To gear up other people, I guess, right? You don't need anything else anymore, so what happens is a lot of people tend to just get full BIS and log off the game. Having GDKPs in the game incentivizes you to keep playing that character. You went through it, you got all your gear, now you can use that gear, use your full BIS set, and go farm more gold. Whatever happened, we understand, okay, it got banned in Anniversary. In Classic Plus, though, and I'm going to make some comparisons here to private servers, right? Turtle WoW, Epoch, mainly Turtle WoW. The way that they did it over there, that got rid of all of this stuff. There's little to no RMT, really. There's no GDKPs allowed. There's no mage boosting. And I'll be honest with you, I am a fan of it. I think that when these things are kind of coupled together and tackled together, taking them out of the game is extremely beneficial, right? Now, you can also add to that there is a ton of new content in a version of WoW like that, right? So people don't want to skip through it as fast or pass all the content or do any of this stuff because they're enjoying.
This right here is a very good point, by the way. I've seen this a bunch in my comments as well. A major reason why people are way more inclined to do mage boosting now than they were, for example, back in 2019 or 2020, even though back then as well, mage boosting was super popular. But now we are playing Classic WoW for the 5th or the 6th time. It's content we have done over and over and over and over and over again, and it's just gotten old. So Anniversary is way more about getting to the end game and doing that instead of enjoying the journey. Now obviously, that doesn't go for everyone, and I will say, if you want to have a really good leveling journey, by the way, on the Anniversary servers, if you plan on playing PvE servers, I would say play hardcore, and when you die, use the free transfer to PvE. That way, hardcore servers are very popular, you will find dungeons all the time, and it also gives you a very popular world, because once again, there's a little bit more focus there on just the whole world experience than only the end game. So for me, if you're once again playing PvE, not PvP, but PvE, play hardcore, and when you die, just use the free transfer to PvE servers. Very nice choice if you do so. And yeah, like mage boosting, a lot of people are doing it now because they're playing Classic WoW for the 6th time, and they are just bored of leveling. Because there's nothing changing. You simply buy a Rested Experience guide, or you download, like, buy Rested XP, buy Cygor, download a guideline, you find a guide you can follow, and you follow the arrow. It is such brain-dead content, and people are tired of it. That's why mage boosting right now, like, almost everyone is doing it.
Enjoying leveling and playing the game. Now, the reason this stuff exists in Classic WoW is because the game is very old, and it's been beaten a million times, and we've leveled up countless characters throughout these same zones, the same quests, the same dungeons, to go and do the same raids. It's understandable why people want to kind of fast forward through all the leveling and stuff in Classic WoW. It's been done a lot, right? There's still some people out there that have been enjoying leveling. Like, I've really actually been enjoying leveling this warrior on Night Slayer. But I think that really comes down to the people that you're playing with and who you surround yourself with. Yeah. But Turtle WoW kind of nailed it, and you don't need that stuff in the game. And me, someone who was a big advocate for GDKP, very pro GDKP, I think that in Classic Plus, if it really is truly a new experience, I think that we should kind of keep it the way it is. Maybe we do keep GDKP out of the game. Maybe we also only do that if we tackle mage boosting as well, because mage boosting is arguably 1,000 times worse and promotes way more RMT than GDKPs. Okay, if we look at the economy on Anniversary, you know, from the very beginning, the economy was completely.
I'm also gonna say, by the way, this is something that I shouldn't say, but doesn't really spark anything anyway. A bunch of your favorite content creators on Twitch are simply getting boosted in the background. They're not leveling themselves. At certain points they do start leveling themselves, but they get boosted to the quote-unquote fun parts. So they buy a boost to level 40 or to level 50, and then they start playing the game, and they just happen to level off stream. I'm not going to name any names, but I can confirm that it's been happening. So they're obviously buying gold as well, because some people even spawned in an Anniversary playing for the first time ever, and they had 10,000 gold, just like out of nowhere. A level 10 with 10,000 gold, and the first character on that server. I don't know.
And GDKP was banned from day one. There never existed a single GDKP. However, let me show you guys something. If you open up your bulletin board, do you see...
Yeah, this right here, by the way, though. And it's really fun for me to get this POV, by the way, because I only play on EU, so I can never see what it's like on North America. But I made a video like this as well, showing the bulletin board, and it looks exactly like this on EU. And North America, it just looks even more like this. Now, the one good thing that I'm seeing here in the middle of all the boosting is 2 literal Sulfarak groups happening. No, never mind, it's 1. The other one is a Sulgurub that is somehow being counted as Sulfarak, but there's one dude making an actual Sulfarak group, and that is a Chad right there. Insane.
See what this looks like. Every single thing. You can run dungeons. I'm not going to make it seem like you can. I've had no issues running dungeons my entire way. I'm 55 now. I've had no issues doing that. But the majority of the channels is selling boosts. And I could argue all day that if there were GDKPs on the server, yes, there would be a lot of GDKPs going on at the same time, but GDKPs were not promoting people to not play their characters. All it was doing was promoting you to play your character with 40 other people in these raids. Yeah. So you see where I'm trying to kind of make this comparison. I'm trying to make everyone understand that mage boosting really is the bad guy here. And it is the biggest promoter of RMT, because where do you think these bots and these people get the money to then sell to people who would then buy to use in a GDKP? Mage boosting, okay? The boosting meta is what funds these bots. It's way more lucrative than farming nodes and, you know, herbs and mining and all that stuff like it was back in the day. The boosting meta, they make thousands of gold per hour with the boosting meta. So, in Classic Plus, if I had to make this decision as someone who has always been pro GDKP, after seeing what it's like over on the other side where private servers did this kind of thing, like Turtle WoW, I keep mentioning, even myself, pro GDKP advocate, I think that Classic Plus should not allow mage boosting, and maybe we should keep out GDKPs. I do think that it is healthier for the game when both are gone. If we're going to allow mage boosting, GDKPs better be in the game. Because mage boosting is arguably worse. It's just a bunch of people sitting AFK, and that is how these bots are farming the gold. At least GDKPs, people got together and raided and still had a good time on Discord, laughing, having fun, killing destroying the content. It was still playing the game. But if Blizzard's going to do nothing about it and they're going to allow mage boosting to exist, we absolutely should just allow GDKPs as well, because I don't understand why we wouldn't. Now, you guys understand my point of view on this. I've explained it pretty thoroughly. I would love to know what you guys think in the comments below. Please comment. I want to know your opinion, how you feel about this.
So far, I agree pretty much with everything he has said. By the way, I just want to iterate that personally, I'm not a big fan of GDKPs, but I mean, like he says, the game is better both without mage boosting and without GDKPs. And the fact that he says that speaks levels to how good the game could be, by the way, with no mage boosting and no GDKPs, but I also can see the good aspect of GDKPs. It has once again both good sides and bad sides. What I really personally would like to see at some point is Blizzard really going down on gold buying. So if you get caught buying gold, right now it's a 2-week ban. In which case, like, what's the risk? There's no risk. You get a 2-week ban, okay, so what? It's a nice little break. But what if they give you perma ban for gold buying? That's right, I said it. You would get permanently banned if they caught you buying gold. Suddenly, a lot less people are buying gold. So they can do one of two things. They can either stop the buying of gold or stop the selling of gold. They will never take down all the gold selling websites and the gold selling bots and stuff like that. They will never be taken away. But what if they gave people literal permanent bans for buying gold? Now, nobody would buy gold. And also, there should be a warning in the game to be like, if you get caught buying gold, you get permanently banned. Just a big warning every now and then. Or like in the login screen or when you make an account, I don't know, like the first time you make a character, for example, just give you a warning in red text or something. That way you have been seriously warned that you will get permanently banned. Suddenly, a lot less people are buying gold, and I would like to see what GDKPs would be like in a world where there's literally no RMT. I'm just saying.
The video isn't over yet, but I just want to make sure I'm telling you guys, please comment, because I want to see everyone's opinion on this. I'm going to run a poll after I publish this video also. And, you know, come on my stream, kick.com/hammerdance. I stream Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, you can find me in his chat quite often, by the way. I usually pop by for about half an hour before I go to bed. I mean, he starts streaming at 2 in the morning for me, so it's kind of late, but I usually spend a little bit of time there, so I'm usually in his streams as well. Once again, Kick, Hammer Dance. And while you're there, follow Solheim TV as well on Kick. I stream every single day as well on Kick.
Come on tonight when we go live and share your opinions and your thoughts. I'm really, really curious. And you know, let's say going forward in Classic Plus, they get rid of the boosting, they get rid of the GDKPs. How could they possibly fix the Warlock summon bot mafia, right? Like let's see if we have that going on right now too, in the LFG bulletin board.
Oh yeah,
not as bad, but it's
services. There. Yeah.
You know, you can get summons pretty much to Kargoth, any portals to any major cities, Eastern Plague lands. It's not as big as it was at the beginning of Anniversary, I'll tell you that. Like right now, it's definitely calmed down a little bit because I think we're in a very dead time for Anniversary. Not that it's dead, it's still extremely popping, but I do feel like there's a way, like maybe like there's like some kind of, like they can implement some kind of cooldown to summoning people, unless you're in like the same guild. Right?
Yeah.
Like if you're all in the same guild, your Warlock can summon your whole raid group there, no problem. But if you're not in a guild and you're just selling summons out in the world, maybe they make it so that you could sell like 5 to 10 summons or something, and then it goes on cooldown for like 2 hours or some shit. And I know that really well that would happen from this is that, you know, bots would just now put like 5 Warlocks in that exact same spot to kind of avoid the cooldown, but that takes a lot more prep, a lot more setup. You know, once a ban wave goes out and all those get banned, it would take them a lot longer of amount of time to set up that summoning spot again. It definitely would curb the problem a little bit, in my opinion. But I do think that there's things that Blizzard can do about that. And the last one that we talked about, remember the item selling services, like, you know, Rogues soloing Angerforge for you before to sell you your Hodge, or Hunters soloing tribute runs to sell you the Elven Tarnished Ring. And I don't really see anything wrong with that. You know, if a player can do that, first of all, it's not brain dead stuff. You do need to know how to play the game a little bit and figure it out to be able to do those things. I think that's part of the game. And if a player wants to earn their gold by learning something like that and then doing it all day long and selling that service to other players, I think that that makes sense and it works in this world, because they're actually playing the game and doing the content, right? They learn something, they have to go through there and figure out how to do this stuff. I think that that is perfectly fine, and it does have a place in WoW Classic. But the mage boosting is out of control. And you know what? Arguably, it sucks, because if it's in the game and you have gold, you feel like you're kind of stupid to not use it unless you're like leveling with a group of friends. If you're leveling a character specifically for endgame and that is in the game and you have the gold to do it, why, like, most people feel this FOMO of like, I'm not going to gimp myself. Like, why don't I just level the fastest way possible? I don't really care about leveling. I've done this a million times. And then that's what happens. You just boost your entire character. I get it. You know, I've done it a million times. It's just that after seeing how it's been on Turtle WoW, I can definitely see the benefits of when both are gone together. Mage boosting and GDKPs both being banned. Really, really good. However, we haven't seen a world in which mage boosting is banned, but GDKPs are allowed, right? I don't recall a world like that. If you guys have ever seen that before. I mean, maybe, was that a thing? I didn't really play Som that much. I hit 60 and then...
Yeah, that's a good question, by the way. Season of Mastery, they fixed mage boosting, but I don't know what the stance was on the GDKPs back then. Anybody in chat who wants to remind me, feel free. I only did 1 raid in Season of Mastery. No, 2. I did 2 raids, Molten Core and BWL. And I did Molten Core like, what, 4 or 5 times, and BWL twice. So I was doing it with my guild. I don't recall if GDKPs were a thing back then, but mage boosting definitely was not. That was a good thing to bring up. And also right now in Anniversary we have the opposite, right? We have GDKPs not being allowed, but mage boosting being allowed. And that is so weird, by the way. How are they going to ban the GDKPs and not ban the mage boosting? Also, I want to bring this up, by the way. How would you feel if Anniversary also had the mage boosting banned from the start? Because to me, I would prefer that. I don't think the mage boosting does anything good, and Anniversary was the perfect playground to see what the game would be like without both mage boosting and the GDKPs. I think they made a mistake by only banning one of the two. That's my personal take.
And I know mage boosting was nerfed on Som, like you couldn't mage boost in dungeons. I don't think they had banned GDKPs at the time.
Yeah, exactly, by the way, Seedler. That is exactly it. People will generally pick the path of least resistance when it comes to leveling. If you have 2 ways right now to get to level 60, where number 1 takes you 200 hours, but you have fun. Option number 2 takes 78 hours, but you don't have fun. A lot of people pick the 78 hours one, because they don't care about having fun. It's all about optimizing and getting to the end game as fast as possible.
Were there a lot of GDKPs on Som? I'm not sure if you played it. Let me know down in the comments. I want to know what that looks like. But maybe there's a world where mage boosting can be banned and the summon bot mafia can be taken out, out of power, and GDKPs can exist with a lot less, RMT conversion rate, like where people are actually just using the gold that they earned in game to do GDKPs and then earn more gold and continue raiding and be incentivized to raid on alts and things like that. I'm not sure. All I want to do in this video was I wanted to bring to light these things that, we always talk about RMT and all this stuff, but nobody ever really fully breaks it down into like an actual tier list of what's the worst and what's not that bad. And listen, at the end of the day, guys, there is always always going to be RMT in World of Warcraft. Classic, retail, because you know why? There's pretty much RMT in almost every single online game at this point in the world.
There is.
It exists everywhere. Everywhere it exists. It is just like part of gaming culture.
Yeah, but it's part of the min-maxing in gaming culture. And people don't want to spend their time doing something where they could spend their time doing something else and get more value for their time. It's like a comment somebody made on a YouTube video of mine today, and also on Kick Chat as well, where they basically said, why would they farm gold for 100 gold per hour right now on anniversary, when they can work 1 hour of overtime at their job, swipe their credit card, and get 2,000 gold for that time? It's like, number one, you have fun, and you make 100 gold per hour, and if you have fun or not is obviously debatable. Like, do you like farming? If so, then it's fun, and if not, then it's not fun. And then it depends on if you enjoy your job as well, and do you enjoy your job? In that case, you're having fun. If not, well, you're not having fun. But like, you get 20 times the amount from working 1 hour of overtime and swiping, and once again, right now, the penalty is a 2-week ban if you get caught. And you barely ever get caught, by the way. Like, it's insane.
Culture at this point. It really is just... It's something that I think is up to the developers to save the players from themselves, if that makes sense.
That is exactly it, by the way. Exactly. This is something that Blizzard themselves have to think about, or the Classic WoW dev team in Classic Plus. Save the player base from themselves. Don't always listen to what players want. Think about what they need.
Players will always take the most efficient route. Okay?
That is very good said, not gonna lie. Oh yeah, dude, I've said this for a while as well. Exactly that sentence I've said for a long time in many videos. Not to take any credit from what he said, because he also said it, but I've also said this many times, and I even talked about it yesterday. Or was it today on the stream with Eben? Either way, like I've talked about that a lot, you need to save players from themselves, and players will optimize the fun out of gaming. It's up to the developers to bring that fun back. Take away the optimization, and simply make us have fun. It seems bad, by the way, when you say it like that. They have to make us have fun.
The shortest, path from point A to point B. And the problem is, why it feels so bad in WoW Classic is because the demographic of WoW Classic players is older people, right? We're not old per se, but we're older than like younger gamers. I'm 33. I have the demographics and the statistics from my YouTube. I can see that mostly everyone that watches my content is over the age of 30, like 80%, right? So when you're over the age of 30 and you have either a real job or whatever, you're kind of a little more set up in life, you have this extra money to spend on your hobbies, right? And a lot of people, their hobby is playing Classic WoW. So if this guy that works 40, 50 hours a week has 2 hours a night to play, but he makes $100,000 a year, it's almost a no-brainer. He's going to buy a shitload of gold, and he's going to boost the characters that he wants and play the parts of the game that he wants to enjoy with his 2 hours. That is going to be very hard to fully eradicate. But
yeah,
there's ways to make it a little bit better, like getting rid of the summoning bot mafia, maybe banning mage boosting and GDKPs at the same time, maybe banning mage boosting and leaving GDKPs.
Yeah, and also, like, that was a bad time to post the video, by the way, due to the facial expression, but either way, I'm gonna say this, and it's something that people might hate me for. I don't really care, but I've already said it once in the video. Ban people permanently for buying gold. You need to put the fear of God in them, man. Like, when you have a 2-week ban, that is the punishment for buying gold, why not buy gold? If I wasn't making content and stuff myself, I would buy gold. If it's a 2-week ban and I need gold to raid and all I'm doing in the game is raid logging anyway, why not? Like, once again, if you're working 50 hours a week and you have, let's say, 4 hours a week in this case to raid, and all you're doing is raiding, and all you want to do is raiding, why wouldn't you buy gold? I completely understand anybody that does it right now. Do I think it's good for the game? Absolutely not. But it's Blizzard's job here to do something about that. And they will never, and I repeat, never, be able to take down all the gold sellers, the gold selling websites, and the bots selling gold. But they can do something about people buying gold. Make it a permanent ban for buying gold. if you get caught for it. Suddenly, you will see a lot less people buying gold. Because right now, when you have a 2-week slap on the wrist, basically, for buying gold, why wouldn't you? I don't know.
In the game, I don't really know the entire answer, but I really want to get some opinions from you guys down in the comments, because a lot of the times I read my comments, there's a lot of troll, dipshit answers down there, but there's a lot of times where I read through some comments and people have really, really good ideas that I didn't think of and that I haven't seen anyone else think about. And then I can take those comments and bring them to light in another video. So seriously, if you guys have ideas or just want to share your opinions on this, please comment it down below, because I will see it. And also, if you don't want to do that and you want to come hang out on the stream, I stream Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern over on Kick, kick.com/hammerdance. We are this close to being partnered on Kick. We are so close. So anyone who wants to show some support, please come on over, drop a follow. It takes 1 second. You get to watch the stream with no ads over on Kick, and I stream in a very high bit rate. It's super crispy with almost no delay whatsoever. It's like real-time live interaction. So definitely come support over there, and all you have to do to support is kind of just hang out in the stream, even if you're lurking and cooking dinner in the background. It really does help out quite a bit. But yeah, that's really all. That's it. That's all I want to talk about. For anyone looking for a home, if you are playing Anniversary, we are on Nightslayer Horde. I restarted the guild over here. We are over 150 players currently, all leveling together. Guild runs all day, all night, just prepping for TBC. We'll definitely run some classic raids. Obviously, we'll jump into Nax when that comes out. So if you're looking for a home, Nightslayer US Horde, Whisper, Hammer Dance in-game. We are the Tavern. We've been the Tavern since the beginning of SOD. And you could also join the Discord by clicking the link below as well. And if you guys enjoy and love Classic WoW as much as me, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you don't miss the next time I post a video. But that's it, guys. That's all I've got to talk to you guys about today. So thank you all so much for watching and listening in. I'll see you all in the next one.
Alright, nice. That was a good video, by the way, talking about some very important topics, and hopefully me reacting to that one and also talking more about those topics also made sense. And let me know if you agree with my takes, by the way, either right now in Kick Chat, but I'm also turning this into a video. Like, I'm not doing that many React videos anymore, but I want to save the React videos for what I consider to be important topics and important React videos. For anybody who wants to get more reactions, by the way, we do stream live on Kick every single day, about 6 p.m. Central European time, so we're doing way more reacts on Kick, but I'm only really uploading the important ones over here on YouTube. Either way, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and that's about it. See ya.